For all you Smoky Ribs viewers, this video was requested by myself, Ricer from Dead Broke Barbecue. I asked Russ because in the future, real soon, I'm gonna end up having my very own offset. And who else to ask how to run an offset than Russ Jones? If you all remember, he was the first fella to actually get a Lone Star offset and promote it on YouTube probably about 5 years ago.
It's been about 5 years, and as far as I know, I was the very first person outside of Lone Star Grillz himself to have the offset on YouTube. Now, there's a lot of them out there now, but number one.
And I remember that video because he actually drove there and picked it up. So take over the mic, Russ. You're gonna teach me how to run this Lone Star Grillz offset.
All right, well, we're gonna jump right into it, and there's not a better place to start than with the Firebox. So as I said, Jeff, we're gonna start with the Firebox. That's really the heart of this pit, and learning how to manage the fire is key to good results with an offset. This is a 24-inch offset, that's what they call it. On my offset, not only is the chamber 1/4 inch, but so is the Firebox. And that's really all you need in the deep south. Now up there where you live, you will want either a 1/2 inch thick Firebox or a double-walled insulated Firebox for those extreme cold temps that will allow you to smoke all year long.
And I'm glad that I thought of it because we ordered a 1/2 inch Firebox for Dead Broke Barbecue.
Now right here, we have a 1/2 inch thick solid steel fire grate. As you can see these slots through here, that was all plasma cut for good clean cuts. Looks really good. Now I don't have it inserted into this pit, but there is a grill grate that goes right here that you can actually grill on. I've got videos on my channel where I actually made pizza in this Firebox before by utilizing this upper grate with a big thick heavy pizza stone. Now, as I mentioned, this is the fire management basket. In the past, I had to build my fire right on top of the fire grate. Everything going good, and then you'll look in here a little while later and one of the logs has rolled off way over here. And so this kind of keeps everything contained to this area. Plus, if you'll notice, this lower vent is dead center of this fire basket, and the air drafts straight in, over, and then out and through the chamber. All right, so typically I try to adjust my heat by the size of the fire. So I pretty much leave this wide open, and on the stack where the exhaust is, I will leave it always wide open. I never dampen that down. Now in the heat of the summer, when it gets extremely hot in July and August, this pit can get upwards to 150 degrees inside of it without any fire. So it's going to take a very small fire to maintain your low and slow temperatures. So at that point, you might have to slide this back and adjust your airflow to bring your heat down. Whatever it takes to maintain that temperature. But pretty much it's super easy. In the fall, winter, and spring, this thing is a breeze. It's only 2 months out of the year. I have to kind of adjust things a little bit different from what I normally do.
You know, Russ, is wall thickness in the chamber a big deal, or is it just more in the Firebox?
I'll be honest with you, it's important everywhere. Okay, it's very important in the Firebox, but you know, even the chamber itself needs to have some beef on it. I would say, and it really depends on your budget, I would try to go for 1/4 inch minimal, but 3/16 does pretty good too. That's just a little under 1/4 of an inch. But any lighter than that, you're going to be getting into your sheet metal, and I definitely would not recommend that. And be careful what you buy from these big box stores, because a lot of them have some really cheap junk. I'm just going to say it, it's cheap.
Thin tin.
But you're going to do good with 1/4 inch. I think yours is going to be 1/4 inch.
Yeah, my chamber is going to be 1/4 inch.
Okay,
yeah.
This is a 24 by 36. And you see all the seasoning on here? Mm-hmm. I've got it built in here. That's 5 years of seasoning built up. And I am a firm believer that you do want to clean your grates. Obviously, that's where the food's going. But don't clean the seasoning. You'll get hurt if you try to clean the seasoning off of my pit, I promise you. Seasoning is flavor. This
Right.
pit, what comes off of it tastes better today than what it did when I first got it.
Sure.
This particular pit also has what they refer to as tuning plates. And what tuning plates do is give you the ability to have a hot side, a cooler side, even from side to side, hot, cold, whatever you want is achievable through these tuning plates. And I've had this pit within 3 to 5 degrees across it, and that's typically how I run it. Now I'm going to be running this pit between 250 to 275 degrees. There's no sense to waste a fire, so we're going to utilize that by putting some racks of spare ribs on here once we get through this little walk around. Now the way I like this Firebox is I use charcoal briquettes. I'll put a layer right here in this fire management basket. I want to start with a little bit bigger log there, and a little bit smaller there. That right there is going to get this pit up to my desired temp in about 45 minutes. Now if y'all notice, I've got logs on each side of this Firebox. And what that's doing is preheating these logs to where when I'm ready for more logs, these are already hot and they just ignite super fast. Also got 2 up here, they'll get hot here as well. Do you remember that song, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes?
Of course I do.
Well, whoever wrote that song must have owned an offset.
So what type of flavor of wood are we using today?
Okay, he's got multiple flavors out here, but what we're using through this entire cook is blackjack oak. It's kind of similar to like water oak, very similar to post oak. It's called blackjack. It's regional in the southeast. Lots of it right around here.
Up in my area, we're gonna have white and red oak. So you have to use what you have available because trying to bring in wood from different parts of the country is too expensive.
And that's true anywhere. Jamaica uses pimento wood because it's native to their area. I love pimento wood. I don't know if you ever had it.
I've never had it. I really want to try it. Russ, is this the only way that you can light up an offset?
Absolutely not. There's another way, and it's actually something that's used widely in a lot of your famous barbecue restaurants because, you know, not everybody can get seasoned wood all the time when you go through that amount. So my son Derek does this for our offset, and he's gonna walk you through that and show you exactly how it's done.
On the subject of fire management, another method I use, because I do got seasoned wood and I got wood that is seasoning, but once or twice a week I go out and I cut wood and we bring it back here, and me and my father-in-law, we sit here all day and we split this stuff into splits, so we got usable wood, but it's all green. You would not typically smoke with green wood because it adds a bitterness to your food over a long period of time. That's where you really want seasoned wood, but we can't always have seasoned wood available if we're cutting our own wood a lot. So I put together another alternative, Big Bertha, better known as a barbecue burn barrel. Now I built Big Bertha by utilizing 2 55-gallon drums. I took the bottom drum, I cut the top out, and then I cut a big bottom out for airflow, number 1, but number 2, large enough where I can get my shovel under there to get them hot coals to go inside the pit. Now as you can see here, just below the center line of where I join these 2 barrels together, you will see 2 rods coming through that is nothing more than square tubing. And inside of that, I have stretched out fencing, just old fencing I had laying around, and a couple pieces of square tubing on top of that I'd done nothing more than tack down. By doing this process, it eliminates the gases and the moistures out of that wood, so we have a good clean smoke. This method is actually used by all of your famous barbecue joints across America that's able to get out and get this wood and produce you great barbecue every day. Now I will say there is a downside to this method. You will use a lot of wood, and I do mean a lot. You will only yield 25% of hot coals out of the wood that you're feeding in there. So you do the math, it is a lot, but if that's all you got to use, and I'm in that boat sometimes, it works, and it works great.
What do you think, man? Time to taste?
I think it's time to take a bite.
All right,
Sure.
let's see how we done. I really like that rub.
Crispy outside.
Oh man.
I can really taste that offset flavor. Derek.
Oh, I like it.
That's a jackpot.
A lot of people are intimidated with an offset, and it's really just monitoring your temperature and doing instinctively what you already know to do. Add more wood if you need more heat, take more wood away if you need to lower the heat. You know, you can make adjustments on your bottom vent like we talked about, but the one thing you want to make sure of is that you always have a very, very clean fire. What I mean is an active fire.
Sure.
If you look in there and you don't see flames, that's not an active fire. That's putting off a very harsh, bitter smoke. As long as it's actually burning, you got a nice, clear, clean smoke, and that's what makes it
Tastes so good.
I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I hope some of you that's interested in getting your own offset has picked up some information on how to manage your offset when you get it, or if you currently got one. Doesn't matter, it's useful information for anyone. And I hope you gained some knowledge from this as well for your new offset. I know you've run them in the past, but it's been a while, so you needed a refresher course.
I'm gonna tell you, Russ, I could actually hook this to my car and take it back to Wisconsin and start cooking on it today. Thank you so much.
Yep.
You really explained a lot about the actual control, and be patient. Let this pit do the work.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that I learned about this Lone Star Grillz, is that it'll work as long as you keep it fed. You don't have to overfeed it, just keep it fed.
That's right. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Make sure you give this like 5 or 6 thumbs up on this video, because this guy worked pretty hard today.